So sometimes it feels like we're losing something precious, and we end up keeping it. And then sometimes we think we're gaining something precious, and we end up losing it. And when we lose something precious, and we want to be strong and reaffirm our faith and our trust in God, we say things like, "This changes nothing. Yahweh, this changes nothing." And it sounds good at the time because we know what we mean. And He knows what we mean. But just because we know what we mean and He knows what we mean, it doesn't mean it's true. And just because we're emotional, it doesn't mean it's true. And just because we say it resolutely, it doesn't mean it's true. It does change something. And it's not the circumstance. It's not the situation. It changes the most important thing. It changes you. When we lose something, it changes us. But looking back, saying this changes nothing only seems applicable in the instance in which you lose something. But what about the times when you hold on to something you think you may lose? Would you ever get past that situation victoriously and say to God, this changes nothing? Of course not. Because it changes a lot of things. It changes the way you think about stressful situations. It increases your confidence in yourself and in your ability to bear the burden of these situations. It increases your trust in Him. It proves once again that He is with you. It proves once again that He will never leave you nor forsake you. And I would posit to you that it's the exact same on the other side of the coin, in the situation in which you actually do lose something. On the other side of loss, you were able to say things like, I'm still here, my heart still beats, my lungs still breathe, my world has not ended, and I am capable of continuing. And for better or worse, I am stronger. I am stronger because He has shown Himself strong through me. I am wiser because He has shown Himself wise through me. And I am better because He has shown Himself to be better than I was taught He could be. But we have to face the anxiety, the inevitable anxiety of the potential of loss and the inevitable anxiety that comes on the other side of loss. And I think sometimes we say to ourselves what we wish or hope God is saying to us. Because in a frantic state, we will begin to repeat these mantras to ourselves. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. But what if we could get still and quiet enough to allow Him to whisper those things to us? What if we didn't feel the need to say them to ourselves? What if we didn't feel the need to bypass that still, small voice? I had a situation very recently in which I was doing yard work in the backyard. And I was in a particular spot that is very significant to me. My girls were gone to Target or something, and I sat in the grass in that spot and just broke down completely. And I'm sitting in the grass, having a moment, because men don't cry. We have a moment, right? And I hear something to my left. Something gets my attention. And I turn my head to the left, and I see a hummingbird fluttering around about 7 feet away. Now, a little history. We have planted flowers to try to attract hummingbirds. We have hung feeders to try to attract hummingbirds. We've hung a birdhouse. We've done all these things. Because to me, for whatever reason, seeing a hummingbird is such a treat. It's such a source of joy and wonder. I just think they're so cool. And I only see them once or twice a year. So, you always want what you can't have, right? And the interesting thing to me was, it was right on my level. I turned my head, and it was right there. I didn't have to look up, didn't have to look down. The bird met me while I was on the ground. He met me right where I was. He met me when I was stooping. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? He met me right where I was. So if you listen to the last episode, episode 20, you know that a year ago, almost to the day, I had an encounter with another animal, a different animal, an unwanted animal. A snake crossed my path as I was out in the yard. But I realized it was a non-venomous snake, and the Holy Spirit said to me, I sent that to show you that even what you're scared of can't hurt you. And in this most recent encounter, the same Spirit showed me a desire of my heart being fulfilled by sending me really the only animal I ever want in my yard, aside from butterflies, birds and butterflies. Now armadillos can absolutely go to hell, but I'll take all the birds and butterflies and dragonflies. I'll take those all day. They're always welcome. So I see the encounter with the snake as a picture of Yahweh keeping me out of the red, shielding me from pain and loss and embarrassment. The encounter with the hummingbird I see as a picture of Yahweh putting me into the black, providing more than enough, giving me the desires of my heart as I delight myself in Him. Through the tears and in spite of the pain and in the face of embarrassment and loss and confusion. And let's remind ourselves, lest we forget, that we have a God who stoops. He came here, where we live. He put on our flesh. He washed our feet. Because He cares, and He sees, and He notices. And He can do so as a baby in a manger, as a broken man on a cross, or as a resurrected king. He can also do so as a cool breeze on a hot day, as a smile from a stranger, or as a little bird visiting you right where you are, right when you need a visitor. I'm Ryan Coleman. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.